what's up? Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create this eyeshadow look using 3 brushes and 3 shadows. So if you're interested to see how we did this, then just keep on watching. By the way, my name's Haley, and I would super love it if you would subscribe to my channel. That way, whenever I post another video, you will know and you can watch it. So let's get started. Well, I did start by putting some concealer on my eyelids. I just used my little Maybelline Age Rewind as a primer. There are, of course, eyeshadow specific primers that you can use if you have concealer. I find that to work just as well. However, the whole idea of priming your eyelids is optional if you have good enough shadows. So today I'm going to be using this little Ulta 3 shadow palette. I am going to swatch these real quick just because I have not yet used this little palette and I kind of want to see what can be expected. So this is the shimmer shade. Nice. This is the lighter matte shade. And this is the darker matte shade. Okay, so I could definitely work with these shadows. Awesome. Another optional step that I like to do is tape my face. Tape it up. I have these little e.l.f. Eyeshadow taper guys. So I like to line it up with my lower lash line. I do leave a little bit of space there in between my eye and the tape. That way I can come down and do the lower lash line and make sure that everything, you know, fits together. This is also an optional step. You don't have to do this. If you're doing your eyeshadow before you do your foundation like I do, you can just take a little makeup wipe and clean it up wherever you want to. And if you do your eyeshadow after you lay down your foundation, then you can just use a little bit of concealer to clean things up. If you don't have this e.l.f. tape, then you can just use like some Scotch tape that you have around your house. I do recommend kind of putting it on your hand and pulling it off. That way it's not too sticky and doesn't tug at your skin too much whenever you go to take it off. So the 3 brushes that we are going to be using today for this look is this big fluffy blending brush, a smaller fluffy blending brush, and then a sort of flatter little type packer brush. I got all 4 of these brushes in a brush kit from Morphe. We're only going to be using these 3 today. They have a lot of little eyeshadow brush kits that have 4 brushes in them like that, and they're reasonably expensive. I got this set of 4 for $10. Reasonably inexpensive. I feel like I might have just said expensive, but they're reasonably inexpensive. I got this set of 4 brushes for $10. It was on sale when I bought it. However, I did just see on Ulta that they have a little 4-piece brush set for $12. So I will put a picture up or link it down below so that you can check out those brushes if you would like to. So we're going to start with the bigger fluffy blending brush, and I'm just going to go into the lighter matte shade there. I'm just going to kind of do this, get it a little bit on there, bump off any excess, and I'm gonna go in right into the crease. So I'm just gonna work this lighter matte shade all into the crease. So I start on this outer corner, sort of work my way in, and then I come back out and make sure that I pull it out to where it hits my tape. If you're doing this without tape, you kind of just want to stop right around this area right here, sort of where your lower waterline lines up with that top part of your eye. And for me, the key to a successful eyeshadow look is a little bit of patience. If you've got some killer shades that are really pigmented, then you should be able to lay them down relatively quickly. These aren't the most pigmented right off the bat, I can already tell. But I think that they'll still work out. I just gotta build it up a little bit. And I don't mind having to build a shadow all that much, just because if you have the opportunity to build it, then you definitely have the opportunity to get it good and blend it out. Sometimes if they're too pigmented, you might lay it down a little bit too heavy, but if it's a good pigmented shadow, hopefully it blends out well. Really, the key to a good eyeshadow look is good eyeshadow. But there are ways that, you know, you can get a lower quality shadow and just work with it. You know what I mean? So. And then I like to look in about 89 different mirrors just to make sure I've got everything blended out. Look at it from different angles. That kind of a thing. I'm gonna build it up just a touch more because I want it a little bit deeper. More color, please. Thank you so much. That ought to work. Now I'm gonna take my smaller fluffy brush and I'm gonna go into the darker matte shade right there. So what I'm gonna do with this one is I am just going to focus on the crease, actually where my eyelid kind of folds into the crease, right? And I'm gonna kind of focus it on the outer corner. And I am gonna bring it a little bit lower down onto my lid and keep it right there on the outer third. And I'm gonna bring it kind of around through the crease, but I want it to sort of ombre into lighter as it goes to the inner corner. I am so sorry. Please excuse them. I am going to take my little, it's a little kind of fluffy, packery type brush, and we're gonna go into the shimmer shade. I really like to coat my brush, and this part is optional, but I do find that it makes a big difference. I'm gonna take a little setting spray and just get it wet, and that's really gonna help amp up the shine and just the presence of the shadow. It'll lay down a little bit smoother as well. I am just gonna take this all over the lid, mostly on the inner 2/3 of the lid, and I pull it just ever so slightly into that outer third. Now we're gonna go back in with the smaller fluffy brush, back into our deeper matte shade right there. And then we're just gonna go blend this shade into our little shimmery shade. Check all your mirrors. Don't forget to check all your mirrors. I'm gonna take my biggest fluffy brush and I'm going to blend through the edges without adding any additional product, and just kind of go through and make sure everything looks nice and blended. So you can take your smaller fluffy brush and run it under your waterline. So I'm just gonna make sure that I angle it just right. And then one last optional step. I'm gonna take my little flat packer brush again, and I'm gonna dip it straight into the shimmer shade. I'm gonna go in on the lower lash line and kind of a little bit into the inner corner with this guy, just to give it a little more. All right, send up a little prayer, and we're gonna take the tape off. Whoop! Oh man, look what I did. Okay. Now, going back with my big fluffy brush, if there's still product on it, too much product or whatever, if you have one of these color switches, you can just do this number. I'll sometimes just go like this to kind of get some of that excess off, just because I'm not trying to add any color at this point. I always like to go in and blend out this line that I've created, just to soften it a little bit. And when I do this, I'll sort of just kind of start where that line is, and I just sort of buff inwards a little bit. Ta-da! And there we have it. So I'm gonna go in with this little Wet n Wild Mega Liner. You could absolutely add a wing to this look. I don't think I'm going to, but you could if you want to. I'm just gonna kind of line. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of my face off camera real quick. I'll be right back. We'll do some mascara. I'll be right back. All right, we're back and the eyes are done. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you will like and subscribe and leave me a comment before you go. But mostly, I really hope that you will come back and watch another video and hang out with me again. It would mean a lot to me. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.